Right in there. Southampton 2, Liverpool 3. We are 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League, and it feels so good. That was so much more stressful than what it should have been today. Let's cut to the chase. Liverpool were not good today. I actually think Liverpool were quite poor for large parts of that game today. Certainly a bit of post-international break sluggishness crept up on us yet again, but we got the job done. Southampton, I felt, were really good. Some of the football they played today was some of the best football I've seen them play so far this season. They pushed us all the way. They made us earn that win. And look, obviously it helps when you're given penalties that are literally outside of the box, but we got there in the end. It doesn't matter now. It's a massive win and it's a massive 3 points. I've seen some people criticise our performance after the game, even fellow Liverpool fans. And all I would say to that is there's 38 games in a Premier League season. You are not going to play well every week. And it's those weeks, the weeks that you don't play well, if you get the right result, it goes an awful long way. And that's what Liverpool done today. Obviously, we're going to have to be a lot better next week against the likes of Real Madrid and Manchester City. But we'll deal with those games when they come. Anyway, let's get into today's player ratings. Caoimhín Kelleher, another good, assured performance in goal. Didn't have an absolute ton to do. Conceded 2 goals. Couldn't really do anything about either of them. Obviously, the first goal was a penalty in which Kelleher stayed down the middle and he saved. Very unlucky with the rebound that it deflected in underneath his legs. Apart from that, he was called upon a few times, made a few very good saves, as he always does. And yeah, I think I'm going to say a solid 7 out of 10 for my fellow Irishman in goal. On to the defence at right back, Conor Bradley. Few hairy moments at the start. Obviously took him a while to get into the game, got that yellow card very early on as well, but I thought as the game progressed he got better and better. Obviously Southampton were quite deep in their defending for large parts of that game, so Bradley's role was further up the pitch for the majority, and I thought he contributed well to the attack, did his job mostly defensively, and I'm going to say another solid 7 out of 10. Now the 2 centre backs. First up, Ibrahima Konate. Let's be real, not his best today. I'm an absolutely huge Ibrahima Konate fan. I think he's having a fantastic season, but today he did struggle a bit, as did Van Dijk, to be honest. Konate is not somebody I would say is a lover of playing out of the back, even though I always back his technical ability. I always say it's quite underrated, but a few poor moments today. Obviously, we conceded 2 goals to the worst team in the league. So, defensively, certainly we were not at our best today. Konate, I think, look, like anybody else, you're going to have bad days. Like the team, like a player, I'm going to say 5. Van Dijk, similar to Konate, I thought he was quite solid up until just before Southampton got their equaliser, where he gave the ball away very naively in midfield, which obviously led to a counter from Southampton and then being given that fraudulent penalty. Other than that, he had difficult times, as did Konate up against Onuachu, who I have not known very much about until today, but he actually was really, really good. He certainly held his own up against Konate and Van Dijk today. I think he was a little bit better than Konate, but defensively today, certainly through the middle, not very good. I'm going to say Van Dijk slightly better than Ibu today, 6. Andy Robertson, he would have been a 1 at half time. He was absolutely awful in that first half. I mean, we had that overhead clearance that he attempted from Southampton's corner just after we scored, where Kelleher was called into making a big save. Southampton got a pretty good chance off the back of. And then it's the penalty. And look, of course, it wasn't a penalty. It shouldn't have been given. But why is he sticking his leg out there? I really don't know. I love Andy Robertson like any other Liverpool fan, and I always will. But performances like these and against Arsenal a few weeks ago really call into question whether he is good enough to have as our starting left back anymore. I believe he still has plenty in the tank, but Is Simicats a better player right now? Is he a better option? Maybe. I felt he was a bit better in the second half. Linked up a little bit more up front, put in a couple of good deliveries. We won, so maybe this is a bit generous, but I'm going to say 4. Onto the midfield, DM, Ryan Gravenberch, excellent again. Excellent again. I even thought in the first half, when not many of our players really stood out, I thought he was really, really good. Second half, though, he was superb. Won so much ball back. He was so assured in possession, as he always is. And he just oozes class. His assist for Salah's goal to get the equaliser at 2-2 was absolutely superb. And look, I was one of those people who, I wouldn't say was fuming that we didn't sign a DM in the summer, but Ryan Gravenberch is just that guy at the moment. He's just absolutely class in everything, and he's just somebody who will only get better and better as he goes on his football career. 8. Curtis Jones struggled really to have an impact in today's game. Obviously his pressing contributed to the first goal. Soboslai's beautiful finish, giving the keeper no chance into the top corner. But apart from that, he hummed and he hawed, but not to really any fruition. We all know how good he can be in full flow, Curtis Jones, but today we didn't really see that. I'm going to say 5. Next up, Dominic Szoboszlai, very, very good. And I feel we needed a big performance out of Szoboszlai today, because lately, for me anyway, we haven't really seen the best of him. We all know the ability that Dominic Szoboszlai possesses, but he can be a bit hot and cold in his performances. I often feel sometimes when I watch him play for Hungary, we see a lot better of him than we do at times for Liverpool. But today was excellent. Led the press in midfield, took his goal absolutely brilliantly. Some fantastic passes throughout the game as well. An absolute solid 8 out of 10. Mohamed Salah, absolutely superb yet again. He is the best player in this league. He is one of the best players without doubt in the world, if not the best. And he is the best Premier League winger that the league has ever seen. It's as simple as that. Liverpool have to make sure they do everything to keep Mohamed Salah as a Liverpool player into next season, because he's just unbelievable. We all adore him for the simple reason that he is just timeless. Game after game he produces. Today was no different. When Liverpool properly needed somebody to take them out of this mess, Salah pops up with 2 goals to secure the victory. 9. Darwin Núñez worked very hard. Nobody can ever knock his work ethic. I have praised his link-up play in recent weeks. I think it has improved, but today it wasn't really there. I thought his passing was quite poor. Look, he obviously had that run in the second half that created a chance for Diaz. He was a threat in this game, as Darwin Núñez always is, but a bit like Curtis Jones, I would say today. Not much kind of end product, not much quality today, and as a result of that, I would say 6. Cody Gakpo, very good. I thought, yet again, another good performance from Cody Gakpo. He's seen a lot of the ball down the left-hand side throughout the time that he was on the pitch. He looked always a threat. He created a couple of chances, had a couple of shots for himself as well, in which he worked the keeper. I was surprised he was taken off. The sub I would have made personally would have been Gakpo staying on, Núñez coming off for Diaz, playing Diaz through the 9, and then Gakpo on the left. Because I thought Gakpo looked quite good today, even though he didn't really have any big chances or create any big chances. I thought he was an ever threat down the left-hand side, as he always is. He looks a confident player right now, which is great. Look, maybe Slot wants him to start on Wednesday, and that's the reason he was taken off today. We shall see. But another good performance for me from Gakpo. I'm saying 7. Then on to the subs. Luis Diaz, excellent. The perfect sub with 30 minutes left in that game. He nearly scored with his first touch. The energy and the work ethic he brought to that Liverpool side at 2-1 down with 30 minutes left in the match, needing to win, was absolutely fantastic to see. He was excellent, and this Luis Diaz that we've seen this season is obviously the best version of him. He was so important for Liverpool in that final hour. The way he brought us up the pitch, the way he created chances, the way he created spaces for other players and for himself. He was absolutely huge. And as I said previously, a perfect sub for Liverpool to bring on in that time. I think a slot masterclass, because he came on at a time where Southampton as well potentially could have been a little bit tired, and Diaz definitely exposed that. Diaz definitely took advantage of that. Very, very good 8. Alexis McAllister, fine. He's kind of been like that ever since the October international break. I think he's been tired ever since. Obviously, he didn't start today. I think that was the right decision from Slot, because he's coming off a long international break again with Argentina, the other side of the world, where he played and started in 2 games for his national team. And look, he came on, he was assured, he did his job, he didn't do anything special. I hope it's not long away that we see the best of Alexis McAllister again, because we all know how good a player he is. But today, in terms of probably what he was brought on to do, I'll say 6. And finally, Wataru Endo. I never really rate players that play like less than 10 minutes or something like that, but he did have that nice turn. So I'll say 6. And finally, Arne Slot, I am going to say 8.5 today. It would not have been anywhere near that with about half an hour left in the game. People might say his team selection wasn't what they wanted to see today or something like that. I think with the international break, and I think with certain players being out, I think Slot picked the right team for me. The players for a lot of the game didn't back him up in that decision, but his subs today, as they always have been since he's came to Liverpool anyway, and I'm sure at Feyenoord and the other clubs he's been at too, but they were really good, and especially Luis Diaz made a difference to that game. So for that reason, I'm giving the manager 8.5 out of 10. So there are my Liverpool player ratings for today's 3-2 win over Southampton. As I said, we're 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League. I just wanted to remind you all. But look, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate if you gave me a like. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, a sub would be very much appreciated as well. I'm going to Liverpool versus Real Madrid on Wednesday, so I will have a vlog out the night of that match. So hopefully everything goes well there. And I will, of course, be live for Liverpool and Manchester City this day next week, which is another huge game for the Reds. Anyway, we're 8 points clear. Yes, we are. We're 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League. I hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you in the next one. Up the Reds.